Bro, I have like not the worst diet, but like I haven't tried a single day really at macros in probably the last like year and a half. Like not training, I've never had like a training regimen. I kind of just like go in and do what I want. I'm not gonna lie, my genetics have like carried me quite a bit. Like,
So last year, I posted a video sharing my thoughts on Alex Eubank going on TRT at 24 years old. I'll link that below if you're interested in hearing what I had to say. As you just heard for yourself, he admitted he never planned out or tracked his training, which I found shocking at the time given he seemed to imply in other videos that he squeezed all he could out of his natural training. Now, the truth is most people don't do this either. They go into the gym with no plan and they couldn't tell you the results from their last session. This is an easy way to go years without making any progress, and unfortunately, this is what ends up happening to most lifters. Now, about 6 months ago, I posted a video discussing the benefits of planning out and tracking your training. I'm not going to rehash any of those points, but I'll link that one below if you want to check it out. In that video, I also shared a file that I use to plan and track my own training, and I'm here to share an updated file, so this will be version 2. I know this could really help some people out there. Using something like this is going to get you ahead of the vast majority of people in the gym and ensure you're progressing over the long haul. So let's dive right in and go through it. We start out with this movements template tab. This is where you would plan out the exercises you're going to include in your training program, as well as the associated rep ranges. I have all the main muscle groups listed out here, and as background, I structure my training in blocks or mesocycles. Each block will have its own spreadsheet, and for me, these blocks usually end up being between 6 and 10 weeks in length, and they're separated by deload weeks, which are essentially just easier weeks of training. This is when I make changes to my program, so my baseline will always be the exercises and rep ranges I included in my last block, and I will then make tweaks based on my own goals. So here's an example of what this might look like filled out. You have all the exercises and rep ranges, and I've included 5 movement slots for each muscle group. Most people aren't going to be doing more than that for a given muscle group, but columns can be copied over for more movements if needed. Then we have the weekly training log tabs. You're going to have one of these for each week of your training block. And let's take a look at what one of these might look like, given the example we just went through. Don't read too much into the numbers on here. I just filled this out to get you a sense of what it'll look like. So each training day has a header. You have the weekday, date, and training emphasis. Then beginning in this red row here, we have various columns. The first is the exercise. Then each set has its own row. Then we have the weight used on each set, the rep range from the last tab, a reps in reserve or RIR figure, and then we have this last column, which is going to represent your performance on each set the last time you did the exercise in the current block. So in this example, we have Romanian deadlifts in the 5 to 8 rep range to be done with 1 to 2 reps left in the tank. We'll be using 330 pounds on the first set, and the last time we did this movement, we did 8 reps with 325 pounds on the first set. Now, I've assumed we're using dynamic double progression on this sheet. If you're not familiar with this, the weight for each individual set will be increased when the top of the rep range is reached on that set. Now, the next 2 columns are where we're going to record results from this session. So in this example, we got 8 reps of 330 pounds on the first set. That is a 5-pound increase since we match reps with the added weight. On the second set, we did 8 reps with 310 pounds relative to 7 reps with 310 in the last session. So that is a 1 rep improvement. Now, if you get the same reps and weight from the last session, I just write it flat. And if you can't compare the 2 sets, like if you're going up in weight and got less reps, I just write in a dash since with different weights, it's not an apples-to-apples comparison. And after this session, you would then transfer over the results to the next session's last column. So the next time you'll be doing Romanian deadlifts will be the following Monday in this instance. The last column for the first set would read 8 reps of 330. The second set would read 8 reps of 310. And one last thing, I highly recommend keeping track of all your rep PRs in training. A while back, I released a PR sheet you can use for this. I'll link that below. I like to have some sort of indicator that lets me know I have the opportunity to hit a PR on a certain set. What I like to do in my own training logs and what I've done here in this example is highlight PR opportunities, in this case in purple. So in this first set of RDLs, let's assume your best set ever with 330 was 6 reps. This means you have the opportunity to hit a PR in this session. So If the PR is hit, what I like to do is just change the font color in this rep cell to red to let me know to go update my PR sheet. So I've included a blank weekly training log tab so you can customize based on your own program. Remember, you'll have one of these tabs for each week of training within each block, and ideally you'll have a separate spreadsheet for each block. Recently, I released a video with a couple of free programs that include tracking files like this. The files also include guidance on things like substitutions, intensity, volume, and progression. I'll link that video below. Feel free to leave any questions you might have on this in the comments. You can also reach me at zdspyt@gmail.com. And yep, that's it. Have a good day.